This is the Toyota AE86, and this is the FOXBODY Mustang. But wait, hold on a second. Don't you think these cars look oddly... Alright, it's time for me to piss off a lot of people. When I was doing research for the Hoon Fox project, I came upon this video by Project 33, and it has an LX Mustang painted up like a Hachi Roku. Looking at it, it made sense. The lines of the cars are pretty much exactly the same. And then I started digging deeper, and there's a lot more parallels than you would think. Obviously, they're both front-engined rear-wheel drive with a pretty big aftermarket. They're both really good platforms to build on if you want to make a car handle. Obviously, the Mustang's going to need more because it's a heavier, larger car, but both of them also have a 4-cylinder that is really easy to modify and make decent power out of it. But then there's a hatchback and notchback version of both of these cars. The notchbacks don't really look that similar, but when you look at the hatchbacks, especially when you look at the Capri, they start to look really, really close. But you might think, typical 80s design language, they're boxy, hatchbacks, whatever. Well, let's look at the suspension. The FOXBODY has struts in the front with a single-piece lower control arm. While the Toyota also has struts in the front, it has a multi-piece control arm setup. So even though they do have basically the same front suspension setup, they aren't going to have the same characteristics. Toyota, you're easily going to be able to upgrade that one little control arm and put a caster camber plate up top, and you're going to have all the adjustability you need. Mustang, basically the only thing it can do is put a caster camber plate in and kind of wing it. Unless you want to go ahead and spend a couple $1,000s on a whole front suspension. Now let's talk about the rear suspension. Now, the FOXBODY has a triangulated 4-link, and since it is a triangulated 4-link, it doesn't require a panhard bar or a Watts link to function. But a lot of guys add them later on to help out with the handling characteristics. But the Toyota comes with a parallel 4-link and a panhard bar. This is slightly superior because the panhard bar does limit movement a little bit better than the triangulated 4-link. But there is one downside to a panhard bar setup. It's the fact that the rear end is going to move from side to side as the suspension travels up and down. It's not really that noticeable unless you hit a bump really hard, but a Watts link does 100% get rid of that issue. Now let's talk about the cultural significance of these cars. The FOXBODY, it's known for drag racing. It is known as the one car you don't mess with at the drag strip. And when we think about Japan, we think of Toge. Absolutely sending it down back roads and mountain passes. And, well, the A86 is the exact car you don't want to line up next to. But does that mean the A86 is the Japanese equivalent of the FOXBODY Mustang? Well, yes and no. Even though these cars look similar, they're both extremely good looking, and they both have somewhat similar suspension and engine setups, they're still really, really different. And they're really, really good at doing their own thing. And then you can't ignore the accessibility of these cars. A FOXBODY Mustang, it can get stupid cheap any day of the week. An A86, good luck. Good luck even finding the USDM version of this car. When you find one, it's going to be really expensive. It's going to be 2 or 3 times more what a FOXBODY Mustang is going for. But then you got to ask yourself, do you want to deliver tofu, or do you want to have a car that is balls to the wall crazy? Anyways, I think we all know what I'd rather do. Listen, I like the A86 as much as everybody else. Just I think I like the V8 a little bit more. Wait, hold up. Hey Google, V8 swapped A86. Holy Jesus.